In this video, I'm going to cover Amazon FBA step by step, my exact process and my own journey of how I'm generating a full-time income through Amazon. And this is going to be super powerful, guys. I've actually had other Amazon sellers that I've presented this to in person tell me, could you please edit this out? Because that's super powerful. I would hate to get out, but that's really kind of a scarcity mindset. So I'm going to share it all with you. Like I said, I can guarantee you're going to find this extremely valuable. If you're just starting off, want to learn more about Amazon FBA, or even if you've taken you've maybe taken a course, or you've watched some other trainings or webinars, you're going to find some content here very powerful. And all that I ask in return, the only thing I ask in return is that if you do like the video, that you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. It's going to help me out a ton, help out the algorithm, and help share this with as many newer sellers and help as many people as possible. So that's all I ask in return. Really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before we cover Amazon FBA step by step, really briefly, I'll just kind of talk a little bit about myself. So, not that long ago, I was miserable at my 9-to-5 job. Yes, like so many other millennials, and so many other YouTube gurus too, right? But I really thought about this, man. I thought, okay, so I just busted my ass in college to get a full-time job and then keep that full-time job, and you frugally invest in the stock market every single month until I'm 60, 65 years old. Then I can start traveling the world and doing things that I want, living life on my own terms. So there's that side of things. And then also, it wasn't just with me being, the selfish millennial. I was honestly miserable. Making money and working my butt off to make somebody else money and not really seeing the reward or return, trying to sell a product or a service that I did not believe in. It was difficult. It was really tough, man. And I thought I was just the most selfish person on earth. I'm like, I just don't connect with this. And I honestly believe that I was created to be an entrepreneur. So I was absolutely miserable. That's what kind of got me started, right? That was literally the most important thing. And I'm so glad that I was. Otherwise, I would have never got started. So miserable about my job, just really bleak about my future and what I was working on. So I quit. I put in my 2 weeks. I quit. And immediately, and we planned this out. Like I could, live on my wife's salary. We went to Google, typed in, how do we make money online? How do we make money, right? Came across an article that had 7 different ways to make money. We talked about cryptocurrency, drop shipping, I think real estate, all these different, starting a YouTube channel was even on there, which is funny that now that's what I'm doing, or one of the things that I'm doing. But all these different options, and the one that stuck out to us the most, and by the way, guys, this is the largest source of our income, not YouTube or anything else. This is the largest source of our income, is what's called Fulfillment by Amazon, or Amazon FBA, right? Fulfillment by Amazon, okay? And really what that entails, because that's kind of confusing. Fulfilled by Amazon is just Amazon fulfills orders. So you send products into Amazon's warehouse, and then Amazon fulfills those orders and ships them. They deal with returns, customer service, all that kind of thing. But really, when people talk about Amazon FBA, they're talking about more. There's a kind of more connotation around it. And in summary, kind of to summarize, basically, what I found when I started my journey is that there are these guys, a lot of young guys too, who were making money by finding pain points in the market or problems that existed in the market, and then solving those problems with a physical product that was better than the other options out there, right? So they would order, they would figure this out, order a certain number of units, send it to Amazon's FBA warehouse. Then they would they'd create a listing, launch the product, and basically get in front of Amazon's humongous audience, right? Even if it's just for that specific segment, get it in front of in the largest e-commerce platform in the world, and generate revenue that way, and then keep repeating the process, launching more and more products, right? That's initially what we learned. Made sense to us, and I'm really glad we got started. We've ultimately been successful, but I'll talk about a couple points that are really important. So something else that we found really interesting when we started off, or the percent of Americans who attend church weekly, or 39%, who believe in ghosts, 42%, the percentage of Americans who support legalized marijuana, 53%, those who invest in stocks, 55%, and lastly, the percent of households in the United States that have an Amazon Prime account, that don't even shop on Amazon, but Amazon Prime, 56.9%, right? A very interesting statistic, and just kind of shows us how powerful Amazon FBA is and Amazon Prime is. But really, the icing on the cake, or what really stood out to us, is in 2018, all online sales in the United States, right, of all online sales, 4% were made by Walmart, kind of went to Walmart, okay? 7% to eBay. 49.1% of all online sales in the United States in 2018 were made through Amazon. Really powerful, if you ask me, right? So Amazon's huge. We get it. I don't really care about that. All I care about is there a slice of the pie for me? Is there opportunity for me on the world's largest e-commerce platform to ever exist? And the answer, and I've already found this out through experience, but even when I was starting out, is yes. Of all units sold, specific units sold on Amazon, 54% are sold by third-party sellers. So what does that mean, right? Because Amazon has their own products. Their second party, which I'm actually not 100% clear on. I really don't care. I only care really about third party. What can we do? Third-party sellers are, there's a huge range, right? But people who basically are brands or companies or individuals who use the Amazon platform to sell kind of their products, and they do that through Amazon. So this could be, like a husband and wife team. This could be a mid-sized or small business selling their products. This could be a guy on his laptop in Bulgaria, right, selling on Amazon United States, which I know of a few. So a huge range, but really shows that there's opportunity even for individuals, not just huge, gigantic businesses, right? So this was all very interesting. So it was enticing enough for us to get started, okay? So here's the process, right? The Amazon FBA kind of step by step. Before we get into that, there's a few ways to sell on Amazon. I apologize, I know my head is kind of cutting off some things, but there are many ways. This doesn't even cover all of them, but retail or online arbitrage, wholesaling, drop shipping, and if you're just getting started, I'd actually highly recommend learning more about retail or online arbitrage. Basically buying name brand products really cheap, somewhere, whether that's online or in a retail store from like a liquidation sale or something, buying those products really cheap and then selling them for more on Amazon. And you can just keep repeating the process, and you can actually make a decent monthly income doing that, working less hours than you are at your current job, or even the same hours and making more money, right? So that's just an option. I'm not saying you will or anything, but that's something to look into if you're brand new, okay? So write that down. And then wholesaling, drop shipping, and then what we do, or what my wife and I do, and what many other Amazon sellers have done successfully, is private label products, or really kind of creating our own products to sell. So instead of selling somebody else's, right, drop shipping, wholesale, arbitrage, all that, we create our own. That's basically, the gist. So that's what I'm going to cover, right, is the Amazon FBA private label process, which in my opinion is the most lucrative, has the most opportunity, but these are all great ways to make money. I highly recommend, if you're just starting out, to look at all of them, okay? Which again, a lot of people don't talk about because they only talk about their own, because they want to sell you their course. So all right, so private label process, and I do have a course, by the way, but it's like $11, so just throwing that out there. So private label process, what we do, okay, this is our process. Number one, we discover a market or a niche, okay? So we basically try to find a market that has relatively high demand and low competition. Once we discover that market, we think, is there a way for us to create a better product, right? So there's products that currently exist. Could we make a better product that solves a problem that's not currently being solved? And again, I'm going to go into more detail about all of these steps, so don't worry. So we differentiate. Next, once we figure out the way that we're going to differentiate, kind of our game plan, our strategy, we will source this product, a test order of this product. We'll ship that. Usually we source from China, ship from China to Amazon's fulfillment warehouse. From there, we create an Amazon listing, right? The photos, bullet points, description. If you ever used Amazon before, that's how you buy a product on Amazon, right? You look at listings, okay, and then you click on a product that looks good to you and buy it. So ship, create the listing, and then we launch on Amazon. And then another very important point after this, as you can see the line continues, is scaling. Scaling both on Amazon, getting more and more and more sales on Amazon, and also very important, and this is what nobody else talks about, scaling outside of Amazon. I have a whole section on that, so stay tuned for that at the end. So step one, market research. Okay, this is the very first step. This is going to be the longest section. It's the most important because this is kind of the foundation of everything else. So very, very important. So you have a couple options, okay? So you could blaze a trail through the jungle. You could be the first one. You could invent a brand new product, okay? It'd be the first to market. But the thing is, you have no idea if people really want this. Maybe you have some idea. You've done surveys and things like that, but so you'd have to do surveys and qualitative research, and you have to figure out how to customize this, maybe patent it, which is a good idea anyway. Patenting is always could be a great option for you. All this stuff, right? Facebook ads and Google ads and a Kickstarter, and it's just a lot more work, a ton more effort, and there's a lot more risk, right? So with the risk, there could be more reward, but there's a lot of dangers in the jungle. So why blaze the trail yourself when somebody else has already blazed the trail for you, okay? So here, I used to be a big runner, and a very common concept is kind of running behind, so never being the first runner, okay, being the second, right, or third or fourth or whatever your strategy is, but kind of staying behind the first runner is gonna break the wind. And by breaking the win for you, right, they're getting more resistance, they're getting tired easier. But because they're first, they're breaking the win for you. So you stay as number 2 until the end, and then you rush up and just out sprint them at the very end and beat them, right? So that kind of concept, right? And going back to the jungle analogy, let somebody else already blaze the trail for you, kind of figure out, create a product from scratch, test the market, and then you analyze the results. So they did all the work. Then you go and you look at the results. You look at products that are already selling on Amazon, online, and you think, is there a way that I can make a better version of this product? So let's say you invent a brand new product and bring it to Amazon. That's all you do, right? If it's brand new, it's never been seen before by the world, no one's going to know about it. You're never going to get any sales because no one knows to type those keywords into Amazon to find it. But when you piggyback on an existing product and you differentiate to where it's a new product, it's different, right? It's not the exact same, and you just put your logo on it, but it is different. People are still searching for that type of product, right? So they're searching on Amazon, they're looking for all the options, and they see that you have the best option. They're gonna, if you do everything else right, I'm not guaranteeing anything here, but they'll buy your product, right? If it is better and it is visible and it's obvious, right? So that's kind of the process, right? Piggybacking off existing success, there's a lot less risk. There's a lot more data that we can capture that reduces the risk. And honestly, I don't really care to produce $1 million product and put tons of effort into it, right? I'd rather launch several products that I'm much more confident in, that get me better results and I can do faster and build up to that $1 million mark, right? That's kind of my strategy. That's our strategy. So it's not copying or stealing. And I'm going to actually go into more detail about it now. So why don't we just talk about that? So like I said, step 1, identifying a market with relatively high demand and low competition. Okay. So that's step 1. And then we go in and figure out how do we differentiate and become the best option. So here's some things on our checklist, our research checklist, right? As we're looking at markets. So is there a problem that's not currently being solved? Is there a pain point that people have in this market, in this niche, that's not being solved that we could solve with a new product? Can I be the premium brand in this niche, right? So can I command the highest price point? Am I going to have, and I will have, the most beautiful images, best copywriting, best customer service, best packaging, the best utility. It's the quality is better, but it's also, the differentiation is not seen before. It's brand new, right? So can I be the premium brand in this space? Okay, you always want to be, and that's just a tip if you're selling products online that I've learned from other, much more successful sellers than I am, 7 and 8 figure Amazon sellers, is never be the lowest price, right? Because you can always get beat. You're always going to have a tougher time. Never be the lowest price. Always be the premium brand. Okay. Is there even sales distribution, right? Meaning, in our case specifically, this is our tactile, are there multiple sellers making at least $4,000 per month in revenue, right? We want to see that. So this is for Amazon specifically. If there's just one seller making a lot of money and everyone else isn't, well, maybe that product is patented. Maybe maybe they have a really strong off Amazon presence. Maybe they have an email list. They're running a ton of Facebook ads and Google ads, and they have a social media following, and they have, investors and whatever. I don't know, whatever it is. We don't want to compete with them. And that goes on to the next point of no established brand in the category. We generally, and this is generally, right, but we never want to go into a category where there's an established brand. Just like I said, right? They have a lot more money than you. They have a lot more experience than you. Basically, they're a bigger, stronger, smarter version of you, right? And this is just when you're getting started out. So when you're starting out, right, it's just like riding a bike, right? You would never compete against Olympic cyclists, right? Ever when you're starting out, but they all started at that point. So you can start there and slowly grow and get better and better and better. And as you gain more skills and experience, as you start making, generating more income, you can take that and use that toward advertising and other efforts and really be able to start competing with these brands. So this is specifically for if you're starting out on Amazon. So no established brand in the category. We want to make sure that's clear. Again, for Amazon specifically, we want to see that several sellers, right, if not all, have less than 100 reviews and have been selling for at least 2 months, right? So if I come in, even if my product's beautiful with images and all that, and I come into a market on Amazon, right, and people see that, I have 5 reviews and everyone else has thousands, it just, even if it looks better and all that, it still may be very difficult for me to get sales. There are certain instances this is not the case. For example, I literally just launched a product last week. It's been launching. We're still in the launch process. Last week that has literally 0 reviews, and we have 14 sales. Of those, 11 are organic, meaning we just launched this product, and with SEO alone, with optimizing our listing, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, we're already getting sales. Like it's crazy. So it does happen in certain cases. This will definitely be more likely in lower competition markets like I'm talking about. But I see so many new sellers failing. Like the biggest reason they fail is going into super competitive markets. They don't have the skill set or the budget to be able to compete, and they fail, right? Because they heard about some guru on YouTube saying, oh, you can find a $40,000 a month product or whatever, right? Which is total BS in my opinion. So last point, we want to make sure, of course, before we get into this, now we don't care about revenue, right? We care about profit and ROI. So can we generate at least a 30% profit margin before our advertising spend? All right. And really more 35% at least. If it's 29%, no. 29.9, no. Right? 30% is like the lowest, right? And I'm kind of exaggerating there, but really, I mean, hone in on that. Like there, again, being the premium brand is going to help you. These all kind of help out. This all kind of makes it possible. These all points kind of work together. And this is our specific checklist. Every Amazon seller, I guarantee, is going to have a different checklist. But this is for us specifically. And they're going to also have different methods, like I mentioned before. So there's a lot of great questions, right? But Summer, how do you figure this out? Well, we use a lot of different tools. A lot of people will only use one tool, right? They'll make all their decisions based on one tool. Never the case, okay? So I'm just want to throw that out there here right now. But one of the tools that we use is called Helium 10. So we use Helium 10, Viral Launch. Other people, sellers will use Jungle Scout or eGrow. There's a lot of options out there, right? And this is just one example, okay? And these tools are basically able to, we type in a term like dodgeballs onto Amazon.com. So we go to Amazon, type in dodgeballs, and we see the results. Then we just click on this Chrome extension. So we buy Helium 10, click on the Chrome extension, and it shows us all of this really powerful data. And really, and for this specifically, the data points that I'm most interested in are monthly sales and monthly revenue, okay? These are estimates. Keep that in mind. These aren't 100% definitive, but I have tested these different tools with my own products. So, and I want to see, is Helium 10, Viral Launch, which are the most accurate? I found Jungle Scout's the least accurate based on all my research. Personally, it could have changed. But Helium 10 and Viral Launch are the most accurate. Okay, so that's why I use the tools. And they have a lot of other great data as well. But so I want to see, again, are there are there several sellers making at least $4,000 a month in revenue? How many sales are they making each day? Because guess what? Once you go to launch your product, which we'll talk about in a second, if you're competing against sellers that are making a ton of sales every single day, you have to match that, right? You have to make the same amount of sales to be able to compete with them. So the more competitive, the more sales your competitors are making, the harder it is to be able to compete. So if you're just getting started out and you just kind of want to see if Amazon FBA works, right? Which is exactly the position I was in. I just want to see, does this process really work? Go for a really low competition product. Maybe even to the point where you're not making a couple thousand a month. Maybe you're only making like, $500 a month in profit. And you just use that as a test. I promise you that's going to completely change your mind. Like I have no problem. Like people are, oh, is Amazon FBA dead? Oh, am I too late to the market? Oh, maybe I should be looking out for the next thing. No worries whatsoever in my mind. I have no problem. Amazon's more competitive next year than it is this year. There's always opportunities, and I'm going to actually talk about that here in just a second. Really, really powerful. Again, this is one of those gold nuggets that someone told me that I should take out because it's too powerful. Well, I'm going to give it to you for free. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. So market research tool, another market research tool we use is Google Trends. For this is free to use. And as you can see, we can look at, search interest in a particular keyword on Google and see, are people more interested today than they were last year, a few years ago, yesterday, right? We can see how interest in a particular topic on Google is changing. And again, this is generally a reflection of the market. This is one of the many data points that we use to make a decision. It's not just this and then that's it. All right, we just use Google Trends, but it is very powerful and it's come in handy. So you can see if certain products are really seasonal, so they only sell well like 1 or 2 months out of the year. You can see if, as in this case, the term dodgeballs. Overall, the interest in dodgeballs are decreasing over time. Not super fast, but as you can see here, kind of slowly decreasing over time with the red line that I've placed there. But very good for checking seasonality. Is it trending like a fidget spinner, right? Go to Google Trends, type in the term fidget spinner, and you can see for yourself this giant line that just goes up and then immediately comes back down, right? That's an example of a trend. If your strategy is to just launch trending products and always just be launching the next thing, that could be your strategy. What I'm more interested in is I want to find a product that generally sells well all year round or will sell well, just generally like over the next year can generate enough profit and revenue to make it worth my while, right? But I'm interested in more sustainable products, not these trendy dying products and constantly having to research more and new, because that just causes a lot of logistical problems. Okay, so that's market research. So once we kind of use these tools and answer these questions that we have about the market, right? Our high demand, low competition market, Remember, the next step is differentiating, creating a better product. How do we do that? Well, we mind read. We use telepathy, right? So we don't actually use telepathy, but we do read people's minds. I don't know why people don't talk about this. This is so key. Okay, so here's the process. So somebody is a frowny face, right? They're upset, they're sad, or they're confused, whatever it may be. But they're in a certain state and they want to get out of that state. They're unhappy and they want to become happy. Okay, so they think of an idea. They're like, what could make me, or what kind of product could make me happy? They take those thoughts in their mind and they spew them out, or they type them into Google, into Amazon, right, in the form of what are called keywords. All right, keywords show what people are thinking. So literally, you can read people's minds, right? It's so powerful. And somebody put it to, or I kind of put it to me this way. This is the way that it makes sense in my own mind. Very, very powerful. So they type keywords in, and then those keywords show them products. Okay, so very, very, very simple, right? Very straightforward. But when you think about it like that, then you're like, oh my gosh, now I realize the importance of keyword research. You hear SEO or keyword research before. That's the importance of looking at keywords, because you can see, okay, for example, someone's, this keyword is getting typed in 100,000 times a month on Google or Amazon. This one's getting typed in 1,000 times per month. So both are popular, but you're like, wow, I didn't realize this one is so much more popular. People are thinking about this and likely buying this so much more than this other product, right? That's just one, again, another one of the data points, but really powerful, okay? So how do we do that? How do we find these keywords, right? How do we read people's minds? Well, we like to look at both Amazon and Google. So I'm sorry, again, I'm covering up, but Amazon here on what's my left, I guess you're right, I don't know. So Amazon here and then Google. So for Amazon keyword research, we like the tools Helium 10 and Seller Tools. I think both, I believe, have a free trial. So please use their free trial. I have links below in the description for the free trial, and coupon codes and stuff like that too, if you're interested, right? I'm not trying to push it out on you. That's just what we use, and it's really, really powerful. Super powerful. Why wouldn't you use it? So we can see data like, we can see the exact keyword, and then we can see, again, this is not exact, but it's estimated search volume. And just really, really quick, just kind of maybe answer some questions in your mind. Amazon used to give out, I believe, 100% accurate keyword data. So, this keyword is, typed in exactly this many times into Amazon every single month, right? They give exact keyword volume, but they closed the doors on that. Now it's been some time, right? Especially anything online or e-commerce, everything moves so quickly. But so close the door on that. So now what Helium 10 and Seller Tools and other tools do is they'll take that historic data, and then they'll create an algorithm to kind of estimate out, and they use that algorithm to estimate new kind of search volume and things like that. Okay, so it is estimates, but it's still very powerful and very, very helpful. Okay, so yeah, so we have Amazon data that we look at, very powerful, but we also want to use Google, right? So a free tool to use. You can literally set up a Google Ads account and use Google Keyword Planner. It's a free tool. Another great tool is Uber Suggest by Neil Patel. What's another free tool? Yeah, anyway, Merchant Words, that's good for Google, keywordtool.io, etc., right? But the free tool, Google Keyword Planner, which I have here, again, basically you type in a keyword. So this could be like, I don't know, like baby. You type in baby or baby diaper bag, and it shows you similar related keywords or longer tail keywords, basically that has that phrase and it's a longer tail of that keyword, as well as estimated kind of, search volume, right? So you can do that for both Amazon and Google to see, this could be used for product research or for product validation. You're like, I have this idea, or this, are people actually searching for this? Is there a lot of search volume? Are there a lot of people thinking and typing and buying this product? Okay. Another thing that's really cool. Here's a little tip. Okay, this is what people told me not to share. Okay, look at Google, and you can use Amazon as well. So you use Helium 10 and Google Keyword Planner. Identify keywords that are being typed on both Google and Amazon, but there are no good results or any results on Amazon. Okay. I'm launching a product. I'm in the process of launching. We have 2 products launching at the moment. This is my number 2 product. We basically found keywords that people were typing in literally to Amazon and Google for this specific, very specific type of product. And it made sense. It's not a brand new product. It made sense to us. We've probably seen it before in our lifetime. They were typing it in. We go to Amazon. We're like, oh, that seems like an interesting product. So we go to Amazon, type in these keywords, and we look at the results. There are 0 results. See what I'm saying? People are looking for this product, this certain type of product. And we can see that, we can read their minds. We can see that by looking at the keyword data, but there's no option on Amazon. So instead of competing with anybody, why don't you look for keywords that people are typing in, and that there are no options on Amazon, and be the first person to bring that option to Amazon. So you literally have zero competition, and you're the first to move. So that's the only in terms of blazing the trail. But again, somewhere somebody else or somewhere else or somebody is already selling that product, right? Because people are searching for it, whether it's on their own website or other like eBay or Walmart or Etsy or any of these other platforms, right? So somebody has kind of already blazed the trail in that sense. But again, it's kind of piggybacking off of that existing demand, right? So that's just a little tip for you that nobody else talks about. It's very, very powerful. Another great source of data when we're looking to differentiate, right, and basically create a better version of the product. This is maybe the most powerful is product reviews. Okay, so why do people leave product reviews? They're either super, super happy or somewhat, unhappy with the product, right? So basically, here's how to look at reviews. Reviews are people screaming out, please somebody change X, Y, and Z about these products and we will give you money. So next time you look at Amazon reviews, that's what you need to think about. There are people screaming out saying, please change this about this product and we will give you money, okay? That's the way I look at it, at least. So this is another tool. So you can literally go manually, if you have already identified a market, go through manually and you can just read through the reviews and create kind of a Google sheet and kind of track, who is buying, right? So you can look at the name of the people who are buying. So for example, if you see like Jenny, Tiffany, Stephanie, Beatrice, whatever it may be, you can tell, okay, so you can safely assume that the majority of people buying this product are female. So you write that down, right? They're mostly female. If they say, my son, my boy, my high school son, my whatever it may be, then okay, so they're moms and their mom's buying for their son. So you write that down, right? So it's a great source of data about who is buying, what event or what occasion or what are they buying for. Number 3, why are they buying? What is the benefit? What are they trying to accomplish? And then number 4, what are their pain points? What are the issues they have? And guys, a lot of times people will go straight to 1-star reviews to look for pain points. One of the best places to look for ways to differentiate are 4-star reviews. Think about it. When someone writes a 4-star review, they're like, I love this product, but, okay? So those are the most honest and some of the most, the best data that I've ever collected are from 4-star reviews. So look at 4, 3, 2, and 1-star reviews for pain points. Look at the 5-star reviews for why are people, all that, the same questions. Why are people buying? What are they buying for? And then also, what are the benefits? What do the existing products do well, right? So if everyone says, so for example, you see all of your competitors have great quality, great quality, great quality, great quality. You have to make sure that you have that. That's not going to be a differentiator for you, but it's going to be what's called a point of parity for you. You need to have that to be able to compete with them. Because if you don't, you're going to your score goes down, but then it kind of goes up because you have better packaging or whatever. But you know what I mean? You want to try to just really destroy them on all fronts. You just be the best that you can be. So in this case, right, we see, here's the example. We see on the bottom, kids love and for my sons. And by the way, this is also Helium 10. This is free to use. So Helium 10 has a review feature. So you can sign up for a free Helium 10 account and use this, again, completely free, no catch or scam or anything like that. And it'll basically analyze and show you some common phrases for a particular product. So you can look at your competitors, look at some key phrases that kind of pop out, right? And it also shows you the average review rating associated with those reviews. So for my sons, for kids, okay, so a lot of these might be parents, okay, so you can assume that. So there's a lot of great data that you can pull from this, okay. So I think I made that very clear. If you have questions, and if you have questions along the way, or if you feel there's anything I missed, be sure to let me know in the comments below throughout the video, okay. Lastly, I kind of mentioned this before. Don't just look at Amazon for your market research or your product research. Look at other e-commerce websites. Yes, Amazon's the biggest and Amazon's awesome. It's a great opportunity. Never neglect the other opportunities as well. So things like Walmart, eBay, Etsy, even Pinterest, right? Look at other e-commerce websites. Look at products that are selling well on those websites or those places that aren't selling well, or not that they're not selling well, but there aren't good options, or there may not even be any options on Amazon. And you can kind of be the first to bring it to Amazon. Not necessarily meaning, copy and paste or, steal their idea, and especially if it's patented or whatever it may be, but use it as inspiration. For example, let's say there's a set of only red dodgeballs on Walmart that are selling pretty well, but there's no option on Amazon for getting only red dodgeballs, just, because they're all just multicolored, right? So then maybe you're the first one to say, okay, I'm going to produce and create and bring only red dodgeballs to Amazon. That's just a very basic example. I'm not suggesting that, but just to kind of get your ideas flowing, right? again, something that nobody else talks about. This is, if you can do this, like you find products that are selling well or keywords that people are typing in, and you're the first to bring a product to Amazon, there's a ton of opportunity there. That's, in my opinion, the best way possible. But again, you don't have to. It's not necessary, and it's definitely harder. It's not just easy to do that. It's going to take you more time. But if you have the time and you're willing to invest, I would definitely go that route. But again, you can still compete against, like I'm competing against low competition, really weak competition, bad images. They have bad copy. They're not really well optimized. Their design sucks, right? For this product that I'm competing against, and I'm crushing it right now. This is the product that's getting 11 organic sales so far, with almost like with $10 spent on advertising. It's crazy. So really, really powerful. So that's kind of concludes the market research section. I have a lot more videos about this on my channel as well. And again, if you have questions, comment below and join our Facebook group. I'm going to have a lot of great, there's a lot of great discussion. You can post your questions there. I have a whole Q&A section of, common questions that new sellers have and answers. So be sure to check out the Facebook group, AMZ Escape Plan. All right. With that being said, let's go into number 2. Again, number 1 was the longest. I promise it's not going to be as long for these next sections. Just kind of get your ideas flowing. And basically, you can go through the presentation, find points that really stand out to you, and then go on your own, kind of research more. But I wish I had this when I was starting out because I had no clue. Okay, so step number 2, sourcing and shipping the product, right? So we have analyzed, we figure out an idea for a product. Now we need to create the product, right? So how do we do that, right? Or how do I do that? So what I do is, and this is my exact process. It's so powerful. It's crazy. Go to Alibaba.com. Alibaba is the largest B2B platform in the world, or B2B e-commerce platform in the world. It's huge. Anyway, it's a site where American individuals and businesses, or really businesses all around the world, but for me, American businesses and individuals can partner with Chinese suppliers to produce high quality, highly customized products really inexpensively. And it's insane. You may think, oh my gosh, I've never created a product before in my life. How hard is it? It's not, I'm not saying it's just easy and you can do whatever. It's a lot easier than I ever thought, than I ever expected. The barriers to entry, guys, we're living in the golden age of e-commerce. The barriers to entry have never been lower. And I'll talk about Alibaba in just a second. So I just had a conversation with this. That's why it's on the top of my mind. Alibaba, find a supplier. We negotiate with them. We say, all right, if we want to order 500 units or 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever, how much does it cost for these units? Is packaging included? How much for stickering, UPC codes, all that kind of stuff. We negotiate, come to an agreement. Once we come to an agreement, we produce the units. And as they're being produced, or after they're being produced, before they ship, I kind of covered it up here, but really simple. We hire an inspection service, usually like 200, 250, I think. No, it's 150 to 200. My wife deals with this whole side of the business. That's why I'm not 100% up to date with everything, but the process is correct. So we hire an inspection service, $150 to $200, to make sure that everything's good to go, right? Because I know it can be nerve-wracking as a new seller. Like, what if the supplier's trying to scam me? How do I know that it's good quality if I never touch it and feel it for myself? Hiring an inspection service, they do an incredible detailed job, and really make sure that the supplier's holding up. And we've had, it's been really, really great. So make sure everything's good to go. Once it is, we ship our test order either by plane or by sea to Amazon's fulfillment warehouse. They take some time to scan the units in, and once they scan, they're ready and available for sale. Okay. And as this is going on, we create our Amazon listing, and I'll talk about that in the next section. But really, again, going back to Alibaba, what kind of starts this, or what kind of makes this possible, is there's a lot of people in e-commerce that I've talked to that are like, only buy American. American is so much better, blah, blah, blah. In my experience, because I actually have, in kind of the process, it's a very long process of creating and inventing a brand new product from scratch. And that's why I have kind of experience in both. And I've talked to product designers and inventors, seriously, who've created their own products. It's a lot harder. But I'm in the process, and I need to source from the United States because I need certain certifications. And it is hard. Big difference between the US and China really quick, because I know this is going to answer a lot of questions for some of you. In the US, it's very hard to find suppliers. Number one, it's very hard. You have to use Google, and their websites are terrible. They're not optimized. They're not willing to customize whatsoever. Totally understandable. They're a lot more expensive generally, and they only focus on one thing, right? They specialize in one thing and nothing else, and they will not customize. And this is, again, just in my general experience. You may have a different experience if you do. Comment below, but it's a lot harder and more expensive to source products from the United States. In my experience with Alibaba, Chinese manufacturing overall is different for a lot of reasons. Number one, they want to work and hustle for your business. They're willing to do that. They're willing to customize and really change for you, which is really incredible and awesome. Okay, so customability. You get worried, how do I create a product from scratch? Literally, hey, here's our competitor's product. And then you have like arrows, like we want to change this, this, and this, or maybe you make a little video from your phone, and that's at some point you send that to your supplier that you're negotiating with, right? Very easy to do. So kind of so the customability, you can get really high quality products really inexpensively. People always talk about, oh, China, really crap cheap products from China. You can get really crappy cheap products from China. You can also get really high quality cheap products from China, right? So or inexpensively from China. So all that ingrained. And number three is much easier to find them. So going here to Alibaba, you can literally do this right now. Go to Alibaba.com, type in a keyword that relates to your product, and then you can find suppliers that already produce like a similar, either your exact type of product or a similar related product, right? And then you go ahead and reach out to those. And again, I have videos on this that go into more depth because again, this would make the video super long, and unfortunately, I can't do that. Dodgeballs. And then one really quick tip here: when you see the filter by section, filter by ... Go ahead and on supplier types, make sure you have trade assurance and gold plus supplier selected. This is going to help you refine by the best suppliers. I always do this when searching for suppliers, but again, I have a whole video on this as well. But yeah, you find existing suppliers that make a similar related product. Then you're like, hey, here's a product you make. Here's the one that we want to make that's a little bit different. And again, this is one of the benefits of piggybacking instead of completely inventing a new product. Because if you completely invent a new product, it's kind of like, can you even make this at all? They're like, well, we can try here. And it's a lot longer, a lot harder, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so Alibaba really breaks down the wall, really makes it easier. It's crazy. The barriers to entry have never been lower. We're living in the golden age of e-commerce. It's crazy. It's really, really impressive. So number three, right, as our product is being produced and inspected and it's shipping and it's on its way to Amazon's warehouse, or really even before, we want to create our Amazon listing. So what is an Amazon listing, and how do we optimize it? How do we make it the best it can be? So here's an example of an Amazon listing. If you've ever shopped on Amazon before, then you're fully aware of Amazon listings. So when you buy products online, you don't ever see the product, right? You can't touch the product, taste the product, smell I don't know why you want to taste it, but smell the product, all that kind of stuff, right? You can't experience the product. All you can do is see images of it and see text that talks about the product, okay? So it's very, very, very important, okay, to have phenomenal, beautiful, professional images, which is really not that hard or really not that expensive to do. It's, again, the barriers to entry have never been lower. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, I cannot stress that enough. And then also, so you want to make sure, like, three big things I want to kind of highlight. Right. So you have your title here at the top, you have your bullet points here, you have your images. If you're just starting off, you also have a description. So again, text and image describing your product. I already talked about images. You want to make sure they're high quality, and I'll talk more about that in a second. Then for your title, your bullet points, your description, there's two kind of main things you want to have, okay? Number one is you want to make sure that they sound good, right? Meaning they sound convincing, persuasive. Make sure that your bullet points and your description especially are benefits-based, right? Not what does your product do, but what does it do for your customer, right? What problem is it solving? Get them excited. This is an example of a really crappy listing, okay? Really crappy copywriting, like 6-pack. No sting surface, max grip, durable. Maybe the no sting surface could be a decent but durable storage bags. It's okay. Like, but does it really? You're like super excited to buy the product now? No, right? So make it benefits based, right? Why are people buying this product? What are their pain points? And you specifically call those out in your bullet points, and then back those up with features. Then you can start talking about how your quality is superior, how you 24-hour test your products before. Or or 30-day money back guarantee, all this kind of stuff, right? Make sure you include benefits and features, but then also with that, at the same token, you want to make sure that remember what I said is that people search for keywords. So people are searching for keywords that relate to your product, but you don't have those keywords in your Amazon listing, then you're not going to show up for those products. Okay, I think I have a slide about that. Yeah. So, people have a problem, they think about it, they search for keywords to find your product. If you don't have those keywords in your listing, you will never show up for that, or rarely or ever, show up for those keywords. So it's very important to keyword optimize your listing. You use tools like Helium 10 or Seller Tools. Find keywords that people are typing into Amazon and Google, or in this case, specifically Amazon, actually. You can ignore Google, right? Specifically typing into Amazon. to search for your product. Get rid of anything that's irrelevant to your product, and then organize your list by top search volume to lowest search volume. In general, you'll want to use your top search most relevant keywords first. You'll use those in your title, your back end, your bullet points, and your description, right? In order, you want to use your top search keywords first, then your next top search keywords, and so on, right? To where out of the list, instead of just saying, oh, I think this is a keyword people would type in, or oh, I know people are typing this in, you want to make sure you prioritize and take, the most searched keywords, because you want to get you want more people to see your listing, not less. So you want to make sure that you're using keywords that people are typing in more than what people are typing in less. And again, I have videos on all this, guys, on my YouTube channel. You can check those out for yourself. Very, very powerful and free information. So yeah, keyword hunting. Here's just an example. Again, we can see, we would go through here and we would get rid of anything like, so bouncy ball, maybe preschool, outdoor toys. We'd get rid of that. Maybe softballs for kids, right? But maybe play balls for kids. That could be interesting. We might want to include play balls in our listing. Rhino skin dodgeballs. We want to make sure that we include that, right? So we kind of we gathered this huge list of keywords. We get rid of anything that's irrelevant, and then we organize by high search volume, as you can see here. So for example, and even if you use keyword research before you're optimizing your listing, as you can see here, 4 square balls has about an estimated 1,000 monthly searches, where kids toy ball has 70, right? That may not be intuitive. You may not never have thought that on your own. But this can help you with product research, but then this also can help you optimize your listing to make sure you have your top search, most relevant keywords in your listing, and make it sound good, and make sure the images look good. Okay, those kind of 3 really important points, right? Really quickly, talking about because we talked about the copy, what you're going to write. Now your images. Here's what we like to do. Okay, so we like to have product photos, infographics, and this third one that I'm covering up right here, lifestyle photos. Okay. So we like to have a mix of all 3 of these. And if you see any very successful listings on Amazon, assuming they're not a big brand and that's why they're getting sales, is because they have that brand recognition, but a lot of successful private label products will always have a mix, or generally have a mix of these 3 types of products, these 3 types of photos just for their products. So product photos can kind of be like this. Your product with a white background, we like to have 1 to 3 product photos. For infographics, we like to call out, again, specific features or even benefits of our product. Really beautiful. We like to have 2 to 3 infographics, and then also the remaining photos, because we can have up to 9 photos on our Amazon listing. The remaining photos we like to have our lifestyle. I forget what I wrote for this. I'll just kind of try to, 2 to 3 lifestyle photos as well. And lifestyle photos just basically take your product and put them into the hands of your target audience. So for example, if your audience, in this case, let's say they're mostly male, and maybe they tend to skew, they're kind of in the millennial age, right, out of college, then this would be perfect, right? Because you want to use your target audience, the research that you did, use your target audience in your photo, right? A lot of times I'll see people with, and not that this is wrong, but there's a lot of Chinese sellers on Amazon, and they'll use a lot of Chinese models, right? Where in the United States, there's a lot of white, there's a lot of Hispanic, there's a lot of black, right? There's not as many Chinese, right? So just be mindful of that. Again, it may work for you, may not. Just be mindful of who's your target audience, and make sure you include them enjoying and using your product in your photos, so they can envision themselves using your product. Okay, so that's just that's kind of our breakdown. And then so we strategized, we created this product from scratch, shipping to Amazon, we created our listing. Now it's time to launch our product, right? So what does that mean? What is product launch? So there are 2 things you need for a product launch. I'm sorry, I'm covering up everything. Reviews and sales, money bags. Reviews and sales. These are the 2 things that you need in order to get more sales on Amazon. So you may be wondering, well, Sumner, don't we need to get sales in order to get reviews? But we also need reviews to get sales. And how do we get sales and reviews if we're not ranking on page 1? Because the reality is, guys, when you ship your products to Amazon's FBA warehouse, you're going to be on page 70, right? Or page 100, or it really doesn't matter. You're going to be, because you're brand new to Amazon, you need to prove to Amazon that your product is worth showing to all of their customers, right? Or relevant customers, okay? So if you can prove to Amazon, hey, Amazon, this product is worth it, guess what? They're going to take you from page 70 and they're going to put you up to page 1, right? Or they can. You're able to do that, or that's how it happens, right? It just doesn't happen magically or overnight. Some people just throw up an Amazon. Anyone can throw up an Amazon listing. Anyone can sell on Amazon, or they can put listings on Amazon. But it's so easy to mess up, right? It takes some work and very kind of calculated, formulaic work to get it right. Okay, so we need reviews and we need sales. Okay. So again, so that's why it's very important to go into a lower competition market. The more reviews your competitors have, the more reviews you're going to likely need to be able to compete. Again, it depends on your differentiation and all that. But so that's why going back to our rule, we like to see markets that have generally less than 100 reviews. Because even if we have a strong email list and external traffic driving to our listing, to be able to compete over the long term, if our competitors keep getting more and more and more reviews and we're always like low and behind them, it's going to be tough for us to compete. So that's why it's just very common sense. People aren't going to buy your product if you don't have a lot of reviews. And if your competitors all have a lot more reviews and better reviews than you, it's going to be tough for you to compete. So that's number one. And then number two are sales. Okay. So again, we'll look at our top sellers, the top 5 or 10 sellers in our category. And we want to see, okay, how many sales are they making every single day or every single month, right? At least estimate it, right? And we take the average. So now we know if we want to be in the top 5, right? We want to be within the top 5 sellers on Amazon. Then what we need to do is we need to generate the same sales velocity, right? Because for example, if product A is selling 10 units, if the top 10 sellers on average are selling 10 units a day, and we're selling 5 units a day, why would Amazon rank us at the same, right? Because these products are making Amazon more money. These products are, these products are obviously selling more, and customers want them more because they're buying more. So why would they, right? So it's really, really common sense. Right? People aren't going to buy your product if you don't have a lot of reviews. And why would Amazon rank you higher? Why would Amazon show you to their customers if you aren't getting sales? So that's why it's very important to use a tool like Helium 10 or Viral Launch. Look at the number of monthly or daily sales. Look at their reviews. The more sales and more reviews they have, the harder it's going to be to compete. The less sales, the less reviews, the easier it's going to be to compete. Okay. So that's just kind of a little tidbit, a little very important point to make, fundamental point to make. So what are some ways that we get reviews and sales, right? They kind of go hand in hand in a way. You can use some of these first and then some later, right? You can use all of these at once. These are just some options. There are many, many options, hundreds, right? If you really want to look at it that way. But here's some that I've used or that I know other sellers using. So building an audience. This may be the number one most important, okay? What do I mean by building an audience? So building an email list, a ManyChat list, building a following, a Facebook group, an Instagram account, a Pinterest account, right? So build a loyal audience, a following, people that know about your brand, know about your product. And this can look at, and how you do this, or one way you could do this is, one, you could advertise, but two, if you're just getting started off, you can start, think about your audience or the type of product that you ultimately want to sell, and then start creating content around your product or around your brand, right? So this could be like, little, articles that you write, motivational quotes, memes. It can be, there's all different kinds of content. Just think of what would, my target audience find valuable, and then give it to them for free, right? Just different content and information and things like that, or funny things, whatever it may be, depending on your audience, on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, if you even do Twitter. Those 3 platforms would probably be the most important in my view, especially building a Facebook group at this point. It's really, really powerful. And then also you can look into building an email list as well, but that's just a great way to get started. If you're new, you want to get started on Amazon, you don't have the money, then what I'd highly recommend do, start building an audience. Start building an audience around something you're passionate about. And just, so it's free to do. Yes, it takes time. And that's why so many people don't get started. So many people aren't successful. It's not because they chose the wrong vehicle. It's not because they chose, I should have done drop shipping instead of Amazon FBA. It's because they don't work. They don't put in the work. And then when they're not getting results, they don't figure out, how can I get better results? They don't keep researching and testing and trying and failing and getting back up again. That's the key, okay? Or that's one of the keys. So if you want to get started today, right, don't do product research. Start building an audience. Because then when you want to launch because then 2 things. One, you build this audience, you keep building, growing, keep adding value. And then at some point, you can actually say, hey, audience, once you have like 1,000 followers or 1,000 people in your Facebook group, hey, audience, what kind of product would you like to see? Like, what kind of product are you interested in? And you can literally create a product, or you can find an existing product on Amazon, send it out to a few members of the audience and say, hey, here's our product. What would you change about it? What would you improve about it? And they'll give you the real feedback. So they're going to tell you how to differentiate. Then you can use that to source your product ship. And then guess what? When you want it, so you can use them for your market research, for your product research. And guess what? When you want to launch your product, hey, remember that product that we were talking about that I created it? Here it is. It's available on Amazon. You can get it for 15% off. And then guess what? Everyone that buys, you can follow up with them a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever, and say, hey, would you mind leaving us an honest review on Amazon? Yes or no, right? So you got your product research, you have your sales and your reviews all together at the same time. That's why building an audience is so powerful. You can either do that first and then launch a product on Amazon, or you can build a product on Amazon, launch it, find it successful, and then slowly build an audience, right? So it's really up to you, but it is very, very important. Like when you think about it, and this is the last, again, this is a very, very important point, guys. That's why I'm spending so much time on it, but I promise we're almost over. So important. Facebook, Google, YouTube, YouTubers, like influencers on Instagram or whatever, like celebrities, right? And Twitter, right? What do they all have? They all have audiences, right? And basically, so you build up a big audience. That's what Facebook is. Facebook has built up this gigantic audience, or Amazon has built up this gigantic audience. In order to get access, usually, right, they're going to charge you to get access, right? So for example, if I'm an advertiser and I want to reach all the people on Facebook, what does Facebook say? Well, we'll let you into our community that we've built, into our audience that we've built for your money, right? So you have to pay them to access the audience. When you build up a YouTube channel, right, as this YouTube channel grows, maybe Helium 10 will reach out to me and say, hey, Sumner, we'd love to promote our product or whatever. And I'd be like, if you do, one, I don't even know how I do that. I'm just using this as an example. They'd have to pay me, right? They have to pay me to get access to this audience that I've taken the work to build. So building an audience gives you power. It's an asset. And you can launch products, you can launch services. It's the most powerful thing. If you like, audience building is number one. So that's my tirade. That's it. That's my rant. That's what you can do to get started today. That's what I recommend doing. So that, or if you want to do product research, you can also get started today. But just want to give you some options. So that's number one. Rebate key, ManyChat, and Facebook ads. So what you can do is actually give full price rebates. So you can create ads, or you can pay a service to basically find people who are interested. Buy your product at full price, and you give them a full price rebate. And the benefit to that is, then later you can follow up with them and say, hey, would you mind leaving us an honest review on Amazon, yes or no, right? Again, that's a little bit of a gray area. I'm not necessarily saying you should go out and do that, but just something to consider, right? That's just another option I've seen other Amazon sellers do that maybe I've done myself. Google ads, low bid Google search ads. I'm creating a video on this, really powerful. You basically create Google ads. When people type in keywords onto Google, your ad shows up and it points to your listing and helps you rank your product, right? And it's very inexpensive. It can be very, very profitable. And a lot of people don't talk about that either. Amazon pay-per-click advertising, so Amazon PPC. You can run ads on Amazon. I have videos on that. Social media influencers, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. Reach out to people that have that are relating to your target audience. Give them your product for free in return for them giving you a shout out. That's just one option. There's many ways you can use that. Press releases, getting written in blogs, all that kind of stuff. There are many, many ways, right? But these are ways to get initial traffic when you're brand new to Amazon, okay? And then, so now we're launching, okay, onto Amazon. Let's say with our efforts, we're now ranking on page 1 for our top keywords, right? Now people are starting to see our product. We're convincing Amazon to show our product. We're getting more reviews, more sales, all of that. Now it's time to scale, okay? And really, the first part of scaling is growth. So we want to grow on Amazon. I've already mentioned some things before, but if I haven't already, then I'm definitely going to start growing a Pinterest account and start pinning other people's content, start creating my own content, my own articles. I'm going to create a website. I'm going to create an Instagram account. I'm going to run Facebook ads and grow my Facebook page or my Facebook group. I'm going to run Google ads. I'm going to build an email list with maybe Klaviyo or MailChimp or whatever, and reach out to my email list and say, hey, I give content value, and then later send out something like, hey, if you want 15% off, here's our, get 15% off here for Black Friday or whatever it may be. Okay. So that's going to help me grow and really build out my Amazon sales and really differentiate me and really fortify me and make me better, right, than other Amazon sellers, or market better than other Amazon sellers. All right. So that's growing on Amazon. But here's the thing, right? I see so many gurus and people talking about this because they only have an Amazon FBA course. They only focus on Amazon. Amazon is a fantastic opportunity. Again, the majority of our income as of right now is all on Amazon. It's like I said, golden age of e-commerce. I've said it before, super powerful. You can potentially make a lot of money selling products on Amazon, period. We all know that. But what if Amazon shuts down your account? What if Amazon, for whatever reason, says, hey, we noticed that you had the word, this word in your product. Well, that's now a banned word from Amazon, so we've shut down your account, right? So your revenue stops like that. That's kind of a very scary predicament for a lot of sellers to be in. Amazon is a fantastic place to start, but don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Do not build a one-legged table. A one-legged table or a building with only one wall, one part of the foundation, it's going to fall down, right? So you want to, build out and really diversify, right? If you're investing in the stock market, you would never invest in one stock. You should never just invest in one product or just one platform, okay? So diversify, right? Scale outside of Amazon. So I kind of mentioned this before. Maybe I'll build a Shopify or a WooCommerce website. Maybe I'll start selling on eBay, on Walmart, on Target, on Best Buy, on Mercari, right? On all these different places. Keep running Google ads. Maybe I'll send Google ads to these external sources as well. Run Facebook ads. Continue growing my Facebook group, right? All these things are really growing your audience and growing your sales channel outside of Amazon to where, guess what? If, God forbid, but if Amazon ever shut down your account temporarily or permanently, that would suck, but you still have these other sources of income, okay? So in my case, I'm doing all of these, and because I honestly love it so much, sharing information. That's why I started my YouTube channel, made my $11 Amazon FBA course, link in the description, all that kind of stuff. These are also ways of me diversifying, and there's no reason for you not to do the same. Maybe not do the exact same, but start. There's lots of opportunities, I should say, both with products specifically, digital products, information products, services, all that kind of stuff, okay? So just to keep that in mind, a lot of new sellers like me never even thought about it because we're like, oh, just Amazon, right? But it's going to give you so much more clarity. And again, take it little pieces at a time. It seems overwhelming at first, but it's going to teach you skills that are going to make you so valuable in the workplace. It's going to give you such a competitive advantage. And in the end, guys, your business, because again, you're building a business, this is an asset that you can sell to an investor. If you're diversified, you have an email list, an audience, and you're killing it on Amazon, all of that together, you're going to look like your valuation for your brand, right? You have a real brand, not just an Amazon product. You have a real brand that you can sell to an investor, and you're much more likely to get a higher multiple, right? So just keep that in mind. This business and this entire e-commerce business, yeah, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work. You're going to make mistakes, but it can be so worth it. And it's going to teach you so many skills. It can make you money for the short term every single month, but they can also, get you a decent paycheck if you ever go to sell it, right? Again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just to put that in your mind, okay? So with all this being said, guys, almost done. With all this being said, what is the result, right? I've done all this with all this process. Well, this is me and my wife's family, which is also my family. So this year have traveled to 3 different continents, including North America. So we're different parts of the U.S. I think Seattle, Texas. We've gone to, this is a picture from Rome. We went to Portugal, Spain, and Rome with her family. We went to Brazil. We're actually moving to Brazil in March because we're making all of our income online. It's cheaper, and we have this beautiful island that we're moving to in Brazil. All of that, right? We're generating a full-time income from Amazon. We're scaling. We're currently in that process of kind of scaling outside of Amazon, but really incredible. And guys, I'm literally life-changing. Like, I know it sounds cliche or it sounds stupid. It's completely true. Like, it's more than the money. More than the money. What's more important is the mindset change. I will never work a 9-to-5 job again for my entire life. Why would I? It's literally not worth my time, and I'm not passionate about it whatsoever. But number 2 is, I always used to think, oh, millionaires and billionaires, these are all just people that are completely separate from me. I'll never attain that. They're just smarter than me, or they have more time in the day, or they're born with networks or connections. Guys, 70% of millionaires inherited $0 from their parents. 0. What separates you from being a millionaire? Or what separates you, maybe not from being a millionaire, but from from attaining your dream life, okay? Or a life that's better than what you have now, at least, right? What separates you from that? It's you. That's it. It's not and guys, by the way, there's never been more opportunity to sell to generate income online, whether that's on Amazon, with e-commerce, with digital products, information products, with services, whatever it may be. Just the internet has torn down so many barriers to entry. It's never been easier. In the words of Robert Kiyosaki, if you cannot make money today with the internet, you might as well give up. You might as well not even try, because it's never been easier. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's never been easier. Okay, so really powerful, and my mindset has changed. I'm looking at things differently. It's really, really been incredible. Okay, I can't even. If you guys want more, let me know it. And here's the last thing, very important step, maybe the most important step. If you like the video, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as well as leave a comment. If you liked it, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, leave a comment, right? Whatever it may be, that really helps the algorithm, really helps me out, and that's all that I ask in return. I really appreciate your guys' support. I really hope this was helpful. And if you want to if you're a brand new Amazon seller, or if you're even an existing Amazon seller and you want to learn everything, Amazon FBA step by step, I have a 17.5-hour course taking literally everything I talked about here and everything I've learned, not just from my own experience and the hours of YouTube videos that I've watched, but also interviews, me talking one-on-one with 7- and 8-figure sellers and what I've learned from them. I share that in the course. And I'm constantly adding new content. I have a lot of new content coming out in the next 2 months as of the making of this video. A lot of really powerful, 17 and a half hours long. As you can see here, the 4.6, it was 4.7, but you know, whatever, 4.6 star rating. And you can literally access it for $10.99. And by the way, if you're really worried about putting down that $11, you can get your 30-day money back guarantee. So if you do not find it valuable, or I talk too fast, or whatever your problem is, you can get your money back, right? So just want to, I'm not trying to push it too hard. This could be a really great opportunity for you. Just letting you know about it. And if not, totally fine. Feel free to consume all the free content I have here on the YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook group. Seriously, guys, a lot of very highly valuable free content. And ultimately, I want to see you guys succeed, and I want to share the blessings that I've been given, right, as much as I can, and really share what I've learned, because that's what I'm passionate about, and it's really what excites me. So yeah, again, thanks so much for watching to the end. Again, I hope you found it immensely helpful. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments, join the Facebook group, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.